Cannibal King, Peter, at $8.60 for the win. A few chances, though. Dr. Zachary, 17. Plushka, 15.40. Super Shaquille, 7.40. Sword at 6.50. I Love Sydney, 5.50. Paddington End, 9.90. Wall Street showing $7 even, and the favourite is actually horse number 9, Diva Raja, having its first start in Victoria. It's only had the one run, but at $4.40 for the win and $2 even for the place, it will run the Popular Elect in race 3, the Victoria Racing Club Stakes. They're at the barrier. This is a Group 3 event.
Most open race, Dan, and let's see what the punters have made of it down there in the betting ring amongst the large crowd in the thick of the action. Here's Terry Kennedy again.
Peter, it's a real sea of heads down here in the betting ring. A big crowd, and it continues to build. Well, if you back Cannibal King, the top weight, maybe you should be worried. It has blown out the gate. Super Shaquille's been pretty solid in betting. There's been some very good bets laid on Sword. I Love Sydney's been fairly easy. Number 8, Wall Street's been very heavily backed here. Number 9, the bookmakers, Devaraja, they opened it up short, they let it blow out, but there's been a sea of money for it, Peter. Very well backed, the best back runner in the race.
Righto, Terry, good betting. Race this the third as we go back to Dan and Gary. Gary, I know you cast an eye over them on their way to the stalls and while they're in the mounting yard, and Terry just said there's been good money for Sword, and looking at his appearance, I can understand why.
He looks very well, but there's the one that's taken my eye, number 9, Devaraja. It looks beautiful. By Sir Tristram, he's really well bred. I like the way he went down to the post. Beautiful striding horse. But whether he's just up to winning against this company and up this straight. I thought Cannibal King would have a good chance because he's come back. He's been racing in top-class company, and he's back in his own age group today, so it makes a big difference.
Well, they're moving into the gates pretty well. Derby is race number 5 today, the AAMI Derby. Blevik 4.10 in the update. Danewin $5 even. Stony Bay, as you can see there, at $4.60. And the other horse in contention is on the second page by the name of Kid Calamity at $5.40. And they're 4 of the main chances we've picked out for the Derby. And the win pool, $225,000. They're filling the stalls here. Good sprinting field of 3-year-olds, Gary. Some very pretty sights both on the racetrack and off today.
What a magnificent looking at screen there.
Quite impressive.
Takes Diva Raja, a half-brother to Carptingley, who's racing in the Group 1 South Corp Packaging Stakes, which is race number 7 on the program. Super Shaquille, first up from New Zealand, as Peter pointed out before, was going to run in the Bill Stutt Stakes at Moonee Valley, but had a problem. And Jenny pointed out before, won a trial very easily at Pakenham recently, so fitted him for this race today in his first up on Australia. Now they're set to go. Field of 9, the light goes on, and they're away and racing. Cannibal King from over on the inside was the best to jump away. He'll lead them up from Sword and Paddington End. Then came Dr. Zachary about 4 out. Further out then was Plushka racing up handy to the lead. I Love Sydney settling behind them with Wall Street. Also Super Shaquille back towards the tail. Diva Raj is back about second last. They have about 800 metres to go. Paddington End moved up on the outside of Cannibal King. Further out was Plushka, followed by Dr. Zachary. I Love Sydney's about 2 lengths off them on the rails in about 6th position. Sword on its outside, and then came Super Shaquille, Diva Raja and Wall Street. But they're well bunched up, racing onto the course proper, 550 metres to go. Cannibal King being urged along now, joined by Paddington End. There's a dream run for I Love Sydney as he pokes up on the rails. Cannibal King immediately under pressure, now headed by Paddington End. Sword, Dr. Zachary, Plushka out very wide. I Love Sydney gets up on the inside. Wall Street needs a run. Then Diva Raja. I Love Sydney gets to the front of a 200 though, and he got away. A length and a half to Paddington End, and then came Plushka. But I Love Sydney's raced away, and he's got it one from Plushka and Cannibal King. And I Love Sydney going home to score an easy victory by 3 lengths to Plushka and Cannibal King third. Then Sword, Super Shaquille, Diva Raja. They were never in it. Neither was Wall Street, and Dr. Zachary back of the tail with Paddington End. 111.1 they've run, and the Red Seas parted virtually. Gary Willits
Certainly
for
did.
Damien Oliver, and the horse just raced away.
Cannibal King, being by a Sydney horse, just seemed to roll off the fence, left this beautiful dream run for Damien Oliver. And I Love Sydney, well, she won very well the first start lead Freeman gave her, and it's certainly gone on with it today. Great win.
Yep.
Very good time.
It was stretched across the track at the 400-metre point, but a very heady ride by Damien Oliver. And while a few others, Peter Donegan, got held up, Damien had clear run.
Yeah, well, Dan, they say he's the best in Australia. Lee, you've said that many times before, and he's just showed why.
Yeah, it's a terrific ride. I mean, he was drawn in close. The horse was racing a little bit ungenerously early, and I sort of commented halfway through the race, well, you may as well stay there now.
And he must have noticed the leader just come away from the rail, and he's just taken the rails run. It's been a winning move. The horse finished full of running there.
Quite impressive, this colt.
He is. He's improved a lot since he's come to Melbourne. The family have always been very good up the straight. Kilmarie's mother won a stakes race up the straight, and a couple of others in the family have... Catchfire won the Maribyrnong Plate, his full sister. So there's a bit of a family affinity for the straight. And funny, when he won the other day, Bob Hoisted said to me, he said, "Do you want to keep running him up the straight?" He said, "Because all of them like it," and he's had a lot of them. So.
You seem to have a few horses that go right up the straight. You're the master straight trainer. I mean, Simonstad comes to mind.
Yeah, well, they're trained here, Peter. They get plenty of practice.
What's next for him?
I don't know what we'll do with him next. I don't know. We might just put him away and keep him for the autumn and race like the Newmarket or something. He was quite impressive today against what I thought was a good field.
Okay, Lee, congratulations, and good luck later in the day with all of your runners.
Thanks. It's nice to strike.
Good on you, Lee Friedman, the winning trainer. Let's go out to Letzi now and catch up with the winning rider, the man who's got such a great rap from Lee Friedman, Damien Oliver.
Damien Oliver, Lee Friedman said you're the best in Australia. Well, that was a beautiful ride, Damien.
Yeah, it's a good rap coming from Lee, but, you know, I could see the horses in front of me shifting around a little bit, so I was always keen I was going to get the run on the fence.
Yeah, when the run come, he took it quick, didn't he?
He did, yeah, and he put himself straight there, which was helpful, and, you know, the last probably 200, he wanted to get his head up in the air a little bit, but, you know, he did win pretty easy in the end.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Damien. You tipped me Poetic King last year as one of the best you've ridden. This colt go a long way?
Yeah, he's a consistent horse. I think he'll keep improving, but I wouldn't put him in the King's class.
Good luck, mate.
So there he was, Damien Oliver, chatting with John Letts after the third event. A most impressive victory by I Love Sydney. Second placing going to Plushka, and third home was Cannibal King. Fourth in the race was Sword, and fifth was Super Shaquille, and they ran 111.1. The interim dividends, $6.20 and $1.90 for I Love Sydney. Plushka, $4.30. Cannibal King, $2.90. The running double paying $32, and the Quinella there paying $53. And waiting on the trifecta. There are the interim totes as the candidates come back now. Damien Oliver at the head of the pairs. We've seen him so many times do that. I wonder how many times we'll see that young man come back on top during this carnival. We'll take a break now. Back with correct weight and the official evidence on the third event, the Victoria Racing Club Stakes. You're watching Network 10's live and exclusive coverage of AAMI Victoria Derby Day.